Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day and an amazing New Year's Eve. Today I'm going to be doing like two different things with you guys. One, we're going to be discussing this new Violet Voss Pro hashtag eyeshadow palette, and I'm also going to be showing you guys my my New Year's Eve like eyeball and face look for tonight. Now this is going to be a little bit of a strange like formatted video because I really wasn't actually planning on filming anything today. I was just halfway through doing my makeup. I practiced on one eye and then I was like, hey, I'll just film a video about this palette since I'm testing it out. So let's just go ahead and get into the actual palette itself. Like I said, this is the hashtag palette. This is a pro palette. I've actually never tried a Violet Voss palette before, so this is my very first experience with it, and so far I can say that I have enjoyed it. The outer packaging and the inside packaging look exactly the same. It has this like orangish purple motif which matches the shades inside. This is a very warm tone palette. As you guys can see down here we have kind of more purpley cranberry shades, and then towards the top we have more like golds and coppers and things like that. It is a really beautiful palette. It looks a lot like the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. I haven't tried that palette at all, but as soon as I saw this one, that's the palette it reminded me of. Now, this one is definitely a little less pricey than that palette. This palette is a $45 palette, where the Desert Dusk palette is $65, so there is definitely a price difference there. Now, I personally haven't tried the Desert Dusk palette, so I can't really like compare the two, but they definitely look similar in color scheme, at least to me. And I just quickly took a glance at the grams in each palette, and apparently, according to Sephora.com, the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk eyeshadow palette has 25.2 grams, and according to this little box right here, the Violet Voss Pro eyeshadow palette has 36 grams. So it seems like you are getting a little bit more grams per dollar as well in this palette. With the Violet Voss palette, you are going to get 20 shadows. These are supposed to be super duper pigmented and also made with jojoba oil, which sounds very fancy. The palette itself is made out of like that hard cardboard material. The outside is kind of matte and then the inside is glossy, plus there's a very large mirror, and I do like that it can bend all the way back. I think that makes it a little bit easier to use. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and move into some swatches of these guys, and then we will go into a impromptu makeup try-on tutorial thing. So I am not the best at swatching, and those might not have been the best swatches ever. I'm sure they were not, but at least you guys could see like the colors we're dealing with here. Anyway, there are some absolutely beautiful shades in this palette. That entire like gold row right here with the coppers and golds is just absolutely stunning. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into my makeup look for today, even though it doesn't look a darn thing like it does in real life. Anyway, I think this is a really beautiful palette and I'm excited to play with it more, so Allie from the past, go ahead and take it away. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, one eye is already done and this looks a little bit terrifying like this, so let's go ahead and try to finish the other eye. If I can remember how I did this one to begin with, I probably should have done these in unison, but that is okay. So I'm going to be using the Violet Voss Pro eyeshadow palette here. This is my very first Violet Voss eyeshadow palette, and so far I've really been enjoying it. So the very first thing I did on this eye over here is I went into Fresh just with my finger and I laid it down as a base. And then with a kind of densely packed blending brush, I went into Sauce, which is right next to it, and I just use this for like a transition. There is a little bit of powder kick up from these shadows, but really not too much, and I feel like the brush just glides so nicely over them. I'm trying to contemplate what I did next. What did I do next? Goat? Was it goat? I don't know. I think I took a little bit of this over here, which is GOAT, goat. And then with a smaller little blending brush, I put this into the crease to deepen it. All right, with that blended out, I went into TBT, which is that Throwback Thursday? I'm really bad at hashtags. I'm like a 90-year-old. I rarely use them for anything. If you guys haven't noticed, if you follow me on Twitter, I barely ever use it. So of course I'm familiar with hashtags. This is a hashtag kind of world, but I just myself never really use them. But I'm going to use TBT on this little brush, and this I'm also going to put into the crease and also all over the lid. And then I'm going to blend it up into those other colors. I did the eye that I'm worse at doing first for some reason. I guess, I don't know, just to give it a shot. I figure if I can do this eye, then maybe I can do this eye over here. And then I went back into TBT. I tried it with the brush at first, but I actually like how it applied the pigment better with my finger. It just got a little bit more intensity going. So I patted this into the outer corner of my eye. And then once I had pretty good pigment built up, I went back in and blended. I feel like I'm having the most issues with this color actually. For some reason it's just a little bit patchy on my eyes. And then I took a little like pointed brush like this back into TBT, and I'm going to run this underneath the lower lash line. And then with the smaller brush, I went back into Sauce. I'm going to run that right on top of the purple just to like kind of warm it up a little bit and to smoke it out just a little bit more. Alrighty, with that finished, the next thing I did was go in with this Stila Glitter and Glow in the shade Diamond Dust. This is one of my favorite products that I have used this year. I love these things. And I didn't want to apply it too heavily. I almost wanted it to be more like sparse and sporadic, kind of like stars in the galaxy, just kind of spread out like that. So I tapped on a little bit, and then I took my finger and tapped it around to kind of disperse the glitters. And this method of applying it is also nice because you don't have to wait 10 million years for it to dry, especially if you have hooded eyes, because if you blink with hooded eyes with this stuff, it's gonna be like all the way up here. Alrighty, with that all dispersed across my lid, I'm now going to use the Stila Stay All Day waterproof liquid eyeliner, a little sample of it here, and just draw on a wing. The chances of it matching this wing over here are little to none, but I'm gonna do my best. I may have too intensely tried to apply my eyeliner. I ended up leaning on my duo lash and squirting it everywhere. This setting powder here, the Sacha Buttercup setting powder, I used this today, and now it is absolutely covered in gray goo. So that's something. I don't even know where to set it down. Alrighty, that's good enough for the eyeliner. A lot of it is hidden by the lash anyway, so you won't be able to see it. But now it is time for the most strenuous part of this entire makeup look, at least for me, which is applying the lashes. This is probably the best I've done in quite some time, so hopefully I can replicate it over here. I am going to trim off the little nubs here because last time I wore these, they just stabbed me in the eyeballs. So those are gonna go. I should probably get a smaller pair of scissors for this, but And I didn't just chop it like straight off like this. I kind of cut it at an angle, so I'm not really cutting off any of the lashes, just that kind of excess plasticky stuff there at the end. I'm also going to give these a good massaging because I think if you make them a little bit less stiff, a little bit more pliable, they're much easier to apply to your eyeballs. Ooh, I almost forgot. I also did a little bit of like tight lining underneath the eyelid here to make sure that's all deep and dark up in there. Alrighty, I'm going to apply this lash and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, both lashes are on and I'm super duper excited about it. They seem to be pretty like securely on there. I'm very, very happy. So next I'm just going to run this Smashbox Always On gel liner just in the lower waterline. And then I'm going to take some of this Lancome Monsieur Big mascara. I added, oh my goodness. Apparently my setting powder wasn't the only thing that was covered in lash glue. Anywho, I'm going to take my mascara here, which I applied to my lashes before I put on the false lash, and just apply a little bit more to blend the two together, and then also on the lower lash. Ew. Ew. And then I'm going to take this Kevyn Aucoin Electro Pop palette here and go into this lightest shade and do some highlighting on the brow bone and in the inner corner. That is one of the things I'm kind of missing with the Voss palette. I wish there was kind of a lighter metallic-y or shimmery shade to brighten up some of those deeper metallics in there, but that is okay. I'm just going to go ahead and use this palette. Alrighty, for the lips, I'm going to keep it very like nude looking, but I also want it to be glossy. I was going to do a matte lip, but I decided to go a little bit more shimmery for the new year. So this is from KIKO Milano. This is the Unlimited Double Touch thing. This is in the shade 103. And to get like a super natural lip color, I put some on and then kind of rub it around so it really disperses. And then when your stain is done, you just go ahead and put on the gloss on top. Alrighty guys, so here it is. Here's my entire New Year's look. I might even change out of this sweatshirt and put on a sweater, the more fancy cousin of the sweatshirt. And yeah, that'll be my entire look for New Year's. I'm not doing anything too fancy. I'm just going over to my cousin's house and we're gonna hang out and, you know, watch the big shiny ball drop and all that kind of stuff. And this is also my review of the Violet Voss hashtag palette. I do think it is a very interesting palette. I really like all the colors in it. I like those kind of warm purples and those warmer tone like golds and coppers and things like that. Those are definitely my favorite types of shadows. I did also enjoy the consistency of the shadows. I thought they're super smooth and buttery. I did have a little bit of problems with patchiness with the TBT shade, but I feel like a lot of those more purpley shades are just kind of difficult to not get patchy. I really haven't experienced one yet that is like fully smooth, but that is just me. Overall, I do think it is a very nice palette. Do you need it necessarily? I don't know. I feel like a lot of these warmer tone shades are out there kind of en masse right now. So if you're somebody who already has like a lot of these types of shades in your collection, I wouldn't say like you necessarily have to have it. But if you're somebody who doesn't really have like a lot of these shades, I do think it is a good option if you're looking for those like warmer toned purples and coppers. Anyway, so that was my entire review, try on, and New Year's Eve look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you guys also have a fantastic and incredibly safe New Year. Have fun and enjoy yourself, but also be super duper safe and aware of everybody else out there on the roads and things like that. Just please, please, please be safe. Other than that, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so very much for watching. Please go ahead and subscribe if you would not mind. Plus, don't forget that we do have giveaways going on right now that will end tonight, and the winners will be announced tomorrow if you would like to go ahead and enter. I will leave the links for those giveaways down below in the description for you guys. And other than that, I just hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you all in 2018. Bye!